The study that my group and I decided to replicate is called Implementation of Self-Monitoring Application to Improve On-Task Behavior, a high school pilot study. This study was conducted by Howard Willis and Benjamin Mason in 2014. In the study, they searched for participants that were eligible by meeting a certain criteria. The criteria included participants needed to be receiving special education services. In addition, the participants exhibited off-task behavior and or classroom disruptions. In addition, that they were not serving in another study in the university, and that the participants were struggling academically in a general educational classroom. And based on the case manager's opinions, the nominated students would be willing to engage in self-monitoring of behavior in a classroom setting. Of the 3 nominated students, 1 was omitted due to their participation in another university study in which the case manager was not participating. With this, the 2 remaining participants were a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, both who attended the same high school and both whose intervention was going to take place in a science classroom. Once the participants were selected, the researchers taught these participants several things before the study or intervention started. Again, first they began with baseline, and during baseline they recorded the participants engaging in on-task behavior and the duration that they would engage in on-task behavior, in addition to the frequency of disruptive behaviors in the classroom. During intervention, what they recorded was the participants engaging in on-task behavior, the duration of this, in addition to the frequency of disruptive behaviors. But in intervention, they were given some technology use of either a phone or a tablet. For this study, they were given a phone in which they can use the application that the researchers selected. The researchers selected to use the application iConnect. For this application, what they would do is the researchers set up a login information, and in addition, they set up a login information for the participants. The participants then used this login information that was specific to each participant, and they were able to monitor themselves using the application. Before the intervention, there was an iConnect training. This was a one-time 20-minute training done by the researchers to the participants. During the training, they explained how to use the iConnect application, how to open, how to select on-task versus off-task. And in addition, they were trained on discriminating between the on-task behavior and off-task behavior. So they were needing to be able to discriminate between both, as they were going to take data on themselves. After all of the intervention and the baseline, this was done in withdrawal design. So there was an A-B with 4 phases. So there was a baseline, and then there was the intervention, and then there was the withdrawal, which was the baseline, and the reintroduction of intervention. So they were hoping that the self-monitor was going to improve the on-task duration, and the results demonstrated that the on-task, there was a positive improvement of on-task behavior for both of the students, and the results also demonstrated a positive but less improvement of generalization of disruptive behaviors.